with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
And good morning on this Thursday, Earth Day Thursday. I'm Mark Salday. A mid-morning check of some of the stories we're following at Erie News Now. We'll have David Wolter along with that first morning forecast as well in a bit. President Biden using part of this Earth Day to talk about his administration's pledge to reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by the year 2030. It's his latest push to fight climate change. President Biden announcing that goal today. The target more than doubles the country's former commitment under the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Biden's Earth Day pledge comes after a number of environmental groups and even corporate executives push for something like this. All 40 world leaders the president had invited to today's virtual Earth Day summit are expected to be on hand. The summit's offering up Mr. Biden a chance to have the U.S. rejoin the global efforts on climate after then President Donald Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord, halted all efforts to reduce domestic emissions, and then rolled back more than 100 environmental regulations to favor fossil fuel production. Well, the ongoing push for police reform here in America had people taken to the streets of Columbus, Ohio overnight. And for the most part, it was students from Ohio State University hitting the streets, protesting the fatal police shooting of a 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant by police in Columbus, Ohio back on Tuesday. Yeah, they took to the streets outside the Ohio State Student Union building overnight, then marched into downtown Columbus, calling for justice. Now, the demonstrations come after Columbus police released body camera video of that shooting. Again, this was back on Tuesday. This video appears to show that 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant trying to stab someone right before that officer's gunfire. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation now said to be looking into this incident. Meantime, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is now in solitary confinement at a maximum security prison out in Minnesota. Of course, that's after his conviction on all 3 charges in the death of George Floyd from last May. Chauvin's being kept away from the general prison population. He's being held in what's known as the Administrative Control Unit. The 45-year-old reportedly going to spend 23 hours a day in that solitary confinement, with 1 hour a day to leave that cell for exercise. Chauvin's scheduled to get his official sentence in mid-June. As we get to some of the latest developments in the ongoing pandemic fight, even with the vaccine supply levels now outpacing demand, America has hit a new pandemic milestone this morning. The president says 200 million doses of vaccine have now been delivered across the country. Meantime, a new report on vaccinating pregnant women appears to show that that is safe, although authors of that report do say more research is needed. This preliminary results based on the reports from some 35,000 plus women who got either the Moderna or Pfizer shots while pregnant. They say the rates of miscarriage, premature births, and other complications were basically comparable to those observed in published reports on pregnant women prior to the pandemic. None of the women involved in this one got the J&J version of the vaccine. That one, of course, now in limbo as authorities investigate those reports of blood clots in a handful of women. Well, high school graduation season, it's right around the corner, and like everything else over the past year or so, 2021's graduation season is going to look a lot different. Erie News Now's Molly Samora reports.
For the class of 2021, their senior year hasn't looked like a traditional year. But the seniors I spoke to at Jenna McLean aren't letting that ruin their last year together.
Senior year, it's been interesting for sure. We've made the best of it as we could.
It's gone as good as it could probably. We've lost some things, but we've also gained some other things. So it's been pretty good.
They all tell me having their graduation on the football field is something they're looking forward to.
Excited to have a live graduation. I think it's what everyone wanted, and it's just kind of like that relief of being able to do kind of an event after a year of not having anything.
The seniors are also excited to have family and friends there to cheer them on as they walk around the track and receive their diploma.
I always wanted an outdoor graduation, so I'm really excited to be on the field and be able to have our parents here.
Really cool that it's outside. It's not going to be in a hot, stuffy room. It's going to be hopefully nice outside, and it's just going to be nice having all of our families there.
And I mentioned earlier, when you're doing the graduation outside, David, sky's the limit for those caps.
Yeah, it certainly is. And right now, we're looking at the snow showers out there. They're coming in off of the lake. You can see kind of that streakiness on the horizon there. That's some snow falling, and we are getting some of that out there, some quick bursts of snow. So 1 minute you can have the sun, the other minutes we're dealing with some of those snow showers. As a matter of fact, if you look down this way, you can actually see some of that sunlight coming on through. 37 degrees right now. We got that westerly wind at 17 miles per hour. It's a blustery day overall. Upper Peach Street, 37 degrees. Most of the day looking pretty good. If you have anything planned outside, just watch for those bursts of snow. Could quickly reduce visibility. Just a very, very brief time there. Jamestown only at 30 degrees. And again, we're going to have some of those pockets of snow work their way into western New York. You can kind of see through the trees down to the ground. We've still got some of that snow on the ground. And we've got some of those snow showers. They continue to move on through along with the clouds, but some breaks of sunshine in between. And I've kind of described today as just weird with the weather. Kind of wacky spring weather overall, as we'll continue to see again, a couple of those bursts of snow move on through. Futurecast has not really been doing a good job picking up on those snow bursts, but they'll certainly be out there. We will have some sunshine as well later in the day. May have the best chance for at least a few additional snow showers before everything dries out. That's during the evening hours later on in the overnight. And for your Friday, we're looking for mainly clear skies. Plenty of sunshine to go around. A pretty nice looking day overall. Temperatures right now, we're in the lower and middle 30s, 36 in Girard, and back towards Bradford, still sub-freezing, 30 also in Jamestown, New York. This is obviously not good news for those budding trees, as they're getting a bit frosty this morning. Temperatures in the upper 30s, lower 40s for today. Going with 44 in Erie, may just briefly reach that this afternoon for a high. Right around 40 degrees, New Richmond towards Titusville, Conneaut Lake as well as Cochranton, we're in the lower 40s. Some sunshine out there, some bursts of snow, breezy winds, just a cold day overall in Warren County, but not that steady snow like what we saw yesterday. So sunshine returns and we go up about 10 degrees for Friday. Still a chilly start to the day. Showers more likely as we get into Saturday. It could linger around on Sunday. Temperatures warming up a whole lot more next week. Look at that. Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, at least, we're back into the 70s.
You didn't leave anything to tease, David. Just
yeah, that's right.
Yes, there we go. All right, hey, if you ever want to take a shot as a guest host on the game show Jeopardy, apparently all you had to do is ask and have a few 100,000 friends, maybe. Jeopardy actually announced that actor LeVar Burton, a guy who some folks may remember from Reading Rainbow fame, he's actually going to get to be one of the final guest hosts to close out season 37 of Jeopardy. Of course, it's all in the wake of Alex Trebek's death. Burton has been pretty vocal about wanting a shot as guest host on Jeopardy. Earlier this month, he actually shared a change.org petition on Twitter, writing, quote, leaving this here in the event the powers that be are listening, end quote. And it seems those powers that be were, in fact, listening. Really, it was more LeVar Burton's fans. Get this, the petition has now more than 246,000 signatures. And again, LeVar Burton going to get that guest host Jeopardy shot coming up in a little bit. And this next story is about a Florida couple who tried to host their wedding at a vacant mansion over the weekend. Didn't quite work out because they really didn't have permission to be there. This couple invited their wedding guests to this sprawling mansion. Well, here's the couple. We'll see the mansion in a second. They called it their dream home and refer to themselves as the royal couple on the wedding invitations. But this couple failed to disclose the most important detail. The mansion was not theirs. So when they got there to set up, they were instead met by the disgruntled homeowner, who then called police. And yeah, that wedding is in fact off this morning. All right, David. We are hopefully not married to this snow because we want to get rid of this cold and bring in some more typical spring stuff.
Yeah, I guess normally the wife is escorted by her dad down the aisle.
Sheriff's, right?
But not by the sheriff's department. But in that case,
True.
yeah, that's the reason why you got to book your venue in advance. You can't just stroll right in. All right, today is Earth Day. It's actually the 51st anniversary of Earth Day. And here are a few facts about our planet. Yeah, things are rough as of late. We've seen 11 of the warmest years across the globe over the last 16 years. So the top 11 have just occurred basically going back to 2005. We've seen a big reduction of ice in the Arctic, especially towards the North Pole. And with warmer temperatures and warmer ocean water, that's obviously more fuel for some of these storms to develop. Obviously, there are other factors as well, but if you think back to last year, the most active hurricane season on record, the second most active back in 2005. So this is kind of our current history that we are dealing with, and it is a bit of a problem, but obviously we're going to try to do our best as we continue in the future.
Yeah, we'll be talking a little bit more later on about President Biden's greenhouse gas emissions initiative. We'll be covering that on later editions of Erie News Now. Our next full report comes your way at noon. That one is set for WSEE. And we'll be back here on Facebook Live about the same time tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.